All right, welcome back, Science 10s. Today we're looking at 1.6, which is naming molecular compounds, which I have a picture of over here, and find that looks kind of a little bit like a Kirby molecule, as we have the kind of spheres overlapping each other as they're sharing electrons. When naming molecular compounds, it's a little bit easier because this isn't going to have charges. Remember, this is sharing of electrons, not transferring them, so we don't have any ions or charges. So hopefully it's a little bit easier for you. We're going to start with going from the formula to the name. So the first step, really similar, is you write the names of the nonmetals in the order that they appear, but now it's just nonmetals. Remember, that's a molecular compound. Nonmetals sharing electrons. Put a prefix in front of each nonmetal. This is the new part. We're going to talk a lot about prefixes. That's kind of how you know that it's a molecular compound right away once you look at a name. Prefix is just coming before, the little part of the word coming before the name of that element or that atom. And what this prefix is going to tell us is it's going to indicate the number of that element or atom that there are. So these prefixes are going to be like di, tri, hepta, hexa, stuff like this, indicating the number of those elements. We'll see those in a second, but the only kind of weird exception is you can't put mono, which means one, in front of the first element. Even if there's one of that first element, you just never put mono at the very start. Mono can come before the next non-metal, but you just never put it before the first one, which is kind of a weird exception, but that's how we name them. The prefixes are not too hard to memorize, but you do have access to them. They are on page 9 of your data booklet, and it looks like this. So we see 1 is mono, 2 is di, 3 is tri, 4 is tetra, 5 is penta, and then we see all the other ones over here. So let's take a look at some examples. First, we'll try CO2. So I'm going to put carbon, which is the C. And then for oxygen, I should put this in here as well. We still put IDE when we name the suffix of the second nonmetal. So this isn't carbon oxygen, this is carbon oxide. And what we do with the moleculars, we don't have to worry about any balancing of charges. All we have to do is look at the prefixes to match the number of the atoms or elements here. So carbon, there's just nothing there. That means there's just one carbon. So you would think monocarbon, except for that exception where we never put mono at the first word. The next one, oxygen, there's 2 of them. So we look over here and see 2 is di. So this becomes carbon dioxide. And that's it. Next one's really similar, C and O. So again, carbon oxide. And we don't put mono on the first one, but we can put mono on the next one. So this is carbon 1 oxygen, which is the O's already there from oxygen, monoxide. Carbon monoxide for that one. Next one, N2Cl4. We have some different numbers here, but I'm going to start with nitrogen. And then Cl, which is chlorine, but we change it to chloride. All right, now there's 2 nitrogens, so again, that means di, so dinitrogen, and then 4 chlorines, which means tetra, so tetrachloride, dinitrogen tetrachloride. And the last one is CF4, which is carbon, and then fluoride, you can change it to ide. Carbon, there's only 1, but we don't put mono. There's 4 fluorides, so we're gonna put tetrafluoride. So see, it's quite a bit easier than the ionics. Going back the other way now from the name to the formula is not much harder. Again, we're gonna write the symbols now of the nonmetals in the order that they appear. We'll put a number. Now we'll put the subscript in that represents the number of each nonmetal that will be indicated by the prefix. All right, again, the prefixes pop up here. So I have dihydrogen monosulfide. I have hydrogen and sulfur, which is sulfide. And I'm going to put hydrogen and S for sulfide. I see dihydrogen, so there's 2. Monosulfide, we just leave that blank. You don't have to put a 1 that we've put an S, indicates there is 1 there, and then we're finished. And you might think, do we put a solid? These are moleculars, and it could be solid, liquid, or gas, depending on how big that molecule is and the bonds between it. You don't have to determine that, so we're just gonna leave all moleculars without a state. The next one is sulfur hexafluoride. So I have sulfur and fluoride. Sulfur, there's only 1. Fluoride, there is 6. So this is FS6 because hexa means 6. And the last one here is nitrogen trichloride. We have N and Cl. Nitrogen, there's no prefix, that means there's just one, and the trichloride means there's 3 of those, and we're all finished. And that's it for this lesson. Hopefully you found that a little bit easier than ionics. Make sure you do practice all of these naming, from the name to the formula and the formula to the name, as this will come up a lot in the rest of our chemistry unit and for the rest of your chemistry throughout high school. But that's the end of this video. Make sure you ask questions in the live time if you have them, and I will see you in the next video.